All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Oracle Talks. Hope everybody is doing well. Happy Thursday. And also, happy new moon in Scorpio. Welcome. So as you're coming in, whether you're joining me here on Instagram or here on YouTube, please do say hello to the rest of the soul family. Hello, Afi. Oh, Afi, when is the email coming out with the Zoom link for Ancestor Healing Ritual? I'm like, yes, I'm ready and I'm excited, but I haven't gotten an email yet. So just want to make sure that like there aren't any technical issues, because you know how technology and me just do not go well together at times. But yeah, let me know if that, it's going out tomorrow. Okay, perfect. I'll let my folks know. Yeah, I'm really, really excited about this tomorrow. There's been some beautiful spiritual unfoldments and insights that have been coming through recently. So I just know it's gonna keep getting bigger and brighter and all the things. Hey, everybody coming in, say hello to the rest of the soul family. Also for the folks here on YouTube, let us know where you are joining from and what you are sipping on or drinking. I'm joining from lovely Southern California, and I am sipping on Earl Grey tea once again. Alrighty, so today we are going to be continuing with Scorpio messages because, in case you did not know, today is actually the new moon in Scorpio. It is a powerful new moon because, one, it's Scorpio. Let's just call it like it is. But it's also, the new moon is when the sun and the moon are conjunct in the sky. And this new moon is opposing Uranus, which is, for me, the planet of breakdown, breakthrough. So tower energy, depending on, what's going on in your life and what needs to get shifted. But also, on the other hand, it represents, for me, inspiration, insight, the divine mind, God consciousness, all of that kind of stuff. So, it could be one or the other. It could be run the gamut of those. I believe we also might have a loose square with Saturn. Let me just check real quick if that is the case, because this is happening. If you want to check where this was happening in your chart. Hello, Wellness with Rix. Welcome. If you want to check where this new moon is happening in your chart, this is at 12 degrees Scorpio. So wherever you have Scorpio on the chart and you find 12 degrees, that house is where for this next 30 days you can see the most amount of transformation occur, or rather, I would say, like, are encouraged to actively engage in the process of transformation, right? Hello, welcome. Y'all not saying hi to nobody? Like on Instagram, what's going on? Y'all just coming in. Say hello to everybody. Let us know what you're drinking, where you're joining from. So yeah, it's that's where you want to see. So you have like more specificity in where this may be showing up in your life. No, with Saturn. Saturn's only at like 7 degrees, so that's way too far away from me to consider it be a major influence right now. So no, it's looking like it's primarily just going to be the sun and Uranus. So because it's sun and Uranus, and given my instructions for approaching today's Oracle Talks, I think this is going to be leaning more so on the insight, inspiration, spiritual side of things. Fourth house for you. Beautiful. Water in Houston. Come through, Houston. But what I'm going to do today is actually something a little different. I'm actually going to pull different messages from different decks so that we cover like the full spectrum. So today's message, if you see the title, says Multidimensional Scorpio. So we're going to first, I'm going to first use the Rider-Waite deck to address more so the mundane or like practical matters of life. So money stuff, health stuff, relationship stuff, job, those kinds of things. So those will be the first messages that come out. Then I'm going to switch to the Thoth deck, and that's going to get into start getting into more of the quote unquote spiritual messages. So I think this will be more so related to, ancestry, legacy, triumphs. I'm sure we know plenty of the tribulations, but the triumphs and things like that, but we'll see what messages come through there. And then we'll see where we land with time. That may be the bulk of it, because I would like to have time for Q&A. If not, if we do have a lot of time, or if I get the nudge from spirit, we'll go a little longer, and I'll go even more deeper into the mysteries, if you will. But we will see. Let me say hello to everybody who's coming in now. Yes, water can do no wrong. Y'all know I stay with the water. Always gotta have it. Let's see. Good morning from New Jersey. Yes, drinking water. Beautiful. Elderberry and echinacea tea in London. London in the house. Welcome, welcome. Hey, DeAndrea. Water in Houston as well. Okay, we got lots of Houston fam here. I love it. I love it. Okay, so I brought out the big boys. I feel like I'll actually just pull the card that I associate with Scorpio for this, just to be mindful of time and also be really specific, because, specificity is important. While I find this card, though, let me know in the comments, whether on Instagram or on YouTube, how this past week has been. Last week's messages were beautiful because they were really encouraging us, and in some cases challenging us to really focus on our dreams and our wishes and our hopes and our desires. So how did that feel? Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the hearts on YouTube. Good to see you. I'm trying to get better about paying attention to both. I do deeply appreciate technology. Let's see, we got another tea blend: calendula, rosemary, herbabuena, and eucalyptus. Oh, you're sick? Oh. Sorry to hear that. Prayers for quick recovery. Although I'm feeling from spirit that you're actually in the path of recovery. So what's happening now is just the purging. But yeah, lots of water and blessings and prayers to you. This week has been challenging yet enlightening, par for the course for Scorpio season. A lot of shadow work and a lot has come up to be cleared and let go of to make room for the new. Yes, yes, yes. That is Scorpio vibes, because it is transformation. And it's always this holding of both, because it's built on the foundation of Libra, which is about finding balance. And the scales, the balance is not a static thing. It is a constant relating to not only internal world, but external world, and making sure that what we are thinking, feeling, doing are calibrated in such a way that they keep us in alignment with the flow of our soul. And yeah, we discussed, and this has been coming up a little bit, but definitely last week about, when you release some things, even if it's simple physical items that just need to get purged, it does open up space and open up energy. Because everything, as a reminder, for those who were not here, everything that is under our jurisdiction, right? We don't technically own anything, but anything that's actually under our jurisdiction is a place and are places where we are managed, where we are using our energy to manage, and they hold certain vibrations. So one of the simplest ways to adjust your experience and to shift your openness, if you're like, okay, I don't know what's going on, then look to your environment. Shift things in your environment. More often than not, there's things that need to get cleared that have been on this do list that's a mile long, right? But focus on that, because that actually will free up your energy, because all of this is spirit. It's spirit condensed, and we call it the physical world, but please understand that this is all spirit. I see the metaphysical messages already happening, so here we are. That feels like that. I'm gonna land that home again. So What we call the physical world is condensed spirit. Okay, what we call the physical world is condensed, coalesced, gathered, pooled spirit energy. Okay, everything is spirit. So it matters the cleanliness of your space. Not that you need to be, OCD, but like if you have stuff there that you're not periodically engaging with and it's just taking up space and it's not even aligned with who you are, it's stuff from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you have not worn that thing, you have not looked at that paperwork or anything, get it out, get it out, get it out, make room for the new. So thank you for sharing that message. We got Water and McAllen. This week, the anxiety has hit hard. Sorry to hear that. But also, because we have a new moon today, that means this week has been full of dark days of the moon. So that's usually a time when a lot of tougher stuff does come up because it's coming up to get purged. So keep that in mind for every lunar cycle. Those, I would say, 3 to 4 days, possibly 5, depending on what's happening with the rest of the astrology. You really want to make it a point to downshift a bit, slow down, really be cognizant of what's coming up, hold a lot of love and compassion for yourself, and give thanks in advance for the healing that is in process. Yeah. Also, we've been having, I think, a square with Mars and something, I don't remember. Very intense, but not sad. Health scares, reality checks, but overall eye-opening and motivating. Oh my goodness. I'm glad it was a scare and not like an embodied thing. I'm glad you're okay. Hopefully you're okay. Yes, completely resonate with this. Beautiful. Okay, so let's get in because I've already been chatting enough. We got a good group of folks in. All right. So these are going to be, like I said, for those who are new in, I'm doing messages from a few decks. So we're going to first start with the Rider-Waite. This is going to be for the practical messages, guidance for this week ahead, things to pay attention to, how to approach it, a little insight into why it might be showing up, where you are now with it, what in the environment may be supporting or hindering, how spirit is definitely supporting you. More so, in particular, your higher self, and different strengths and strategies you can lean on for that purpose. And this first set of messages again will be practical matters, so health, money, job, career, relationships, that kind of stuff. Okay, and then we're going to shift to a different deck. So while I am shuffling these cards, you know the deal. Take a few deep breaths. You can close your eyes if you prefer that, or if you have your eyes open, concentrate on a point on the floor about 4 to 6 feet in front of you. Slowing down your breathing, becoming more intentional and more full with the in and the out breath. If you have a pranayama practice, you can go ahead and do that if you like using breath of fire or alternate nostril breathing, whatever you prefer. But you're doing this to bring your conscious attention to the synchronization that already exists, but that what your conscious mind tends to forget is there. Allowing yourself to let go of concerns of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, just for the time that we are here. Knowing that nothing is going to fall apart if you're not giving your undivided attention to it. Because trust and believe, we sleep every night and nothing falls apart and we're not giving our undivided attention to it. So if we need evidence, we have that evidence language, yeah? Really settling into the body and calling forth our higher self, our celestial self, our heavenly self to merge with all of our humanity, bringing our mind, our emotions, our body, and our heart into perfect coherent resonance with the truth of our soul nature. Asking our higher self, our celestial self, our heavenly self to remove any and all obstacles to this resonance, this coherence, this coming home to soul. And opening up pathways for abundance for us this day, this evening, and for the days and the weeks to come. We give thanks to a soul that is always true, that is always speaking to us, that is always loving, and that is always inviting us to receive and accept the abundance and the joy and the enlightenment and the support that is available to us in all time, spaces, frequencies, and dimensions. We affirm our soul sovereignty in this moment, giving thanks for another day of life, for the nourishment of food and water, the clothes on our backs, the places we get to live, our family, our friends, our teachers, our guides, our healers, our employers as well, and our clients if we are business owners, giving thanks for all. Giving thanks for all the divine beings that walk with us, that we know of or do not know of, primordial or present, and also giving thanks, of course, in the highest to existence itself. And then that which gives birth to existence, which has no name. Giving thanks to the sacred portal of Scorpio for reminding us of our multidimensionality. Yeah. Oh, it's embodied. Oh, goodness. Prayers for your health and healing. And let the healing waters rise in your body and bring things back into alignment with your nature versus what has had to be adapted to. Receiving and filling. There is much to be given than you actually have capacity for, so accept. Let me know if you are feeling that. I'm perceiving it on my side, but you know, let me know if you're receiving that when you're in. Okay. So just quickly, everyone let me know how you are doing, how you're feeling. Hopefully you are actually feeling really grounded, but still open and aware, clear, focused yet soft. Yes, coming through the crown, down my chest. All right, awesome. So keep receiving throughout this entire process or for however long you're able to stay for today. You are welcome. Ooh. Okay, thank you for letting me know on YouTube. Okay. All right, so for the first part of these messages, again, practical matters of life. So health things, money things, relationship things, job, career things. Stay connected to your breathing. Welcome, welcome to new folks coming in. Say hello to the soul family. Let us know what you are drinking or eating. Also, let us know where you are joining us from. And I am streaming simultaneously both on Instagram and IG. So you can find me either place on I said Instagram, IG, Instagram and YouTube. On YouTube, you can just do a search for Anderson Alchemy. Okay. This is a really spiritual time. All right, so I'm looking forward to these next messages. Hello, hello. More YouTube fam coming through. Hello, family, soul family. Okay, so let me tell you the cards first, and then I'll get into the different interpretations. Hangman. Hey, you've been branded. Been a minute since I've been able to join an Oracle Talk. Happy to be here. I was literally just thinking about you this morning. Like, I'm not even joking. Not even joking, Brandy. I was literally thinking about you this morning. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen Brandy. I'm so happy you're here. There is a reason why. I'm not sure, but it's beautiful. Joining from CLT. I don't know what CLT is. Charleston. Drinking raspberry leaf tea because womb things. Yes. I do not have any raspberry leaf tea, but my womb cycle is also starting soon-ish. I started spotting today, so, which I already knew, but I wasn't expecting to spot today. So that was a surprise, but I'm like, okay, here we are. All right, first card out. The thing to pay attention to is, or to address, or to work on, if you will. Hangman. Joining from SoCal, thank you, and Elisa Valerie. Page of Swords is our action. Oh, Charlotte, okay. I would not have gotten that from those letters. Thank you for teaching me and possibly anyone else here. Queen of Wands. Representing some of the past energies, Six of Swords, some of the strategy. Temperance, guiding spirit energy. So this is our higher self specifically. Page of Cups, which is also the Princess of Cups, so where we naturally have strength. We're showing up as the Nine of Wands. Ace of Pentacles. This would have been within the last 2 weeks. Lovers, deep past, and then in the environment, the High Priestess. And then the heart of the matter is the Strength card. So, okay, practical matters for whatever is being dealt with, whatever the context is. And like I said, I'll go through health, wealth, relationships, and work. There's something that's almost coming to a place of completion. We're not done yet. And just take this as this resonates. Not necessarily going to be like all areas of life. It might. But regardless, we do have to persevere. We don't know what's coming next. But that's okay, because we're not really supposed to push. We have to keep remaining perceptive and possibly learning new things. But none of the energy, even though there's a lot of major arcana out, in terms of like what we specifically have to do, it's minor shifts and changes, not big things, because it's still Page of Swords, Page of Cups kind of vibe here, right? And there's this interesting dance between the Page of Swords and the Six of Swords, because it's like there's a bit of a fight energy associated with the Page of Swords. This also can talk about learning and just general communication. But it's like, knowing the difference between when you need to push and to go for what you want, or to like check yourself, right? Versus when it's just important to chill or make sure that you are having a more objective perspective on something. There is a lot of perspective things, especially with the Hangman, because this can and does mean pause, like a sacred pause. And it's a forced pause because it's a major arcana. It's not a no, it's just a like hold while some other things get shifted, and then it will be go, right? This also can mean sacrifice, meaning another thing with the Scorpio energy, that release. But sacrifice is really specific, something different, because the distinction between release and sacrifice would be you are giving something as opposed to getting rid of something. So giving something of value, of importance, that's sacrifice. The Scorpio side of things, the release is like, oh, this is not being used anymore, or I no longer value this, or this is no longer resonant with where I am, so I'm actually just going to get rid of it. That's not really sacrifice. Emotionally, it might feel that way if you have a deep emotional connection to something, right? But that's the difference. Now, also, this talks about a shift in perspective, looking at things a different way, and necessarily a spiritual way. We already have, again, higher self here. So, and we've been talking for many weeks about seeing yourself, seeing the world through the eyes of your soul, right? So that's a general framework that will be pulled from as we go through these different things. So for health things, first and foremost, for folks where there are issues, and it might be something where, and forgive me if some of this is triggering, but this is just what's coming through. If there's a lump or a cyst or something that gets found, or if there's like an injury or a pain, it's something really specific though, because it's Ace of Pentacles and it's something that has just popped up. Not to say that it hasn't been there, but it might have just come into awareness, because this feels like with the Queen of Wands, there's been a heightened this is feeling like a heightened amount of stress over the last like 3 months for whatever reason. And so that has created, so either a lot of inflammation, a lot of just general imbalance, a lot of stress, right? A lot of physical activity. So you're just like, wearing the body down. Yeah, it feels like it's more recent because the deep past is Lovers, and that feels more balanced. So take that as it resonates. However, it's looking like there just has to be a rebalancing of the waters. So for me, that would be the hormones. The fastest way to do that is reducing stress, because that spikes cortisol, and then that throws like everything off. Cortisol really, y'all. Cortisol be fucking us up. That stress hormone, that fight or flight, that fucks everything up. And I would say out of out of what I know, because I'm not a doctor, but it probably is the hormone that shifts us the fastest than everything else because it is there for, survival. Whereas the other hormones that we have, which relate to different body systems, they take longer to recalibrate. So yeah, if this has been going on for the past like 3 months, that's enough time to be skewed out of what your normal balance is. So yeah. Let's see, on YouTube we got totally resonates. I'm having 2 surgeries within 2 weeks. Oh my goodness. Prayers for your healing as well too. And the health of your body. There's a lot in your energy field. When's the last time, this is for Shay, when's the last time you either did a spiritual bath or did energy healing on yourself, if you know what energy healing modality, or worked with, plants or, Reiki or crystals, or had a healer work on you. That may explain why I woke up with chest cavity pain this morning. No emergency vibes, just a day off from work to be still today. Oh, goodness. Prayers for you as well. Yeah, it looks like your field's also really heavy too. Like there's just a lot in the field. I got bullseyes for on Instagram. Okay, so this is really resonating with folks. All right. I need my people to be healthy. Like I need y'all to be okay. About a month and a half ago. Okay. Definitely do again. Definitely do again. Probably actually weekly. And was that the healer worked with you, or you did a spiritual bath on yourself? Like what did you do, Shay? Okay, it's resonating for you, Frenchie. Let me drink. So with that being said, I'm feeling like this energy is more so advocacy, like advocating for yourself and making sure that you are demanding quality care. So if for whatever reason you're not fully happy with how you and your situation are being handled, you might have to check folks, whether that's in the medical profession or people around you who are supposed to be supporting you, but like it needs to be addressed. And that may put a pause on things. Like you might have to, reschedule or what have you. But having care container in particular is what I'm hearing. So that container through the folks who are supporting you on the medical profession side of things, and or supporting you throughout the process and in the aftercare on the personal side. Also, of course, could be, work things as well. If there's conflict there, face it and deal with it. But also, this could just be making sure that you set that up for yourself so that you can have this experience. And then if there has been any additional stress and anxiety, that's actually what will help to bring you a sense of peace and being able to surrender, because it's like, okay, I have the perfect people in place. I have the perfect system in place. Like I know that my needs and my wants are going to be taken care of. I can allow myself to be supported throughout this entire process, right? And not have to be in this mode, which is what got you here in the first place, right? Yeah. So however it's going to be, if it's more conflictual or if it's taking agency and creating that for yourself, it's important. It's really important. Okay, so Reiki healer, yeah. You definitely need to be doing more. So if it's not feasible, in terms of resources to be going to them regularly, then at least do it on your own. If you don't have, if you're not attuned to Reiki or you don't have crystals or whatever, do spiritual baths, but do something to help with clearing your energetic fields. Because it's just, and this is also for Charisse as well. Your fields are just heavy with a lot of just a lot of stuff, and a lot of it's not even yours. It's just needs to get moved, and that kind of energy just puts additional burden on the body. Listen, shit happens, like, our body has to deal with it, and thank God for modern medicine, but we actually can get through things much quicker when our energy fields are not bogged down. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. Definitely resonates. 3 new lesions in my spinal cord. I have multiple sclerosis. Excuse me. Let me go back here. Yeah, this is feeling like I don't actually know much about the mechanics for multiple sclerosis, but this feels like an inflammation thing specifically. But there's a thing here around boundaries for you, Kiana. So maybe, because of life transitions or what have you, maybe the care that you normally had or the balance you normally had really got thrown off. I feel like it has to do with boundaries with other folks, though. But I'll leave that alone. But prayers for you as well. I'll see if anything comes through in terms of guidance to support you in your process. But prayers for your healing. Definitely thanks. Definitely helps. Thank you. You're welcome. Yes, I went a day earlier than my scheduled appointment and had another center squeeze me in same day. Beautiful. Beautiful. Listen, Spirit be making a way. Welcome, welcome. Hey everyone, time change. Listen, time doesn't change till Sunday. We have, well, in the US, we have our time change on Sunday. So yeah, it needs to happen because my body is like already made this shift. So I'm like, I need the clocks to catch up because I've already shifted this past weekend. Nervous system regulation, surrender, and self-advocacy have been big things for me the past few weeks. Beautiful. Boundaries, yeah. All right, so that seems like it's resonating. Let me see if there's anything else with health stuff. Yeah, just graduation, you're good, but also like, again, you're tired. Oh, you changed Sunday. Okay. See, that's when we needed to change because like that's when things shifted in my body and I'm like, ugh, this week. This is validating. I've gained a significant amount of weight around my belly and I'm sure it's due to stress. I mean, yes. Yes, the weight gain. I feel you on that. Nothing wrong with being heavy. I don't mind because, I have more of an ass, but it's stress. Like I know it's stress. Regardless, 9 of Wands is the thing. We are pretty close to our max in terms of output. So like, again, persevere so that you can chill, but don't overdo it because it's not, being at the 8 is much better than being at 9 or 10 when it comes to health stuff. This is too much. Also, this is Wands, so this is reminding me of something that has been coming through often in Oracle Talks these past couple of weeks about really having to relearn or learn in a new way how much things cost us energetically. Like for real. Because we may think that, you know, doing a certain thing, a certain activity, or engaging in something is not not that big of a deal because we're just kind of used to it, not realizing that it actually requires a lot of our energy, a lot of our ashe. And so when we get the messages to rest or to not do as much in one area, and we think like, oh, I'm being lazy or I'm not, you know, following through, like that's not the case. Usually it's either you have to rest or you're being gently guided to redirect the focus and input for energy into something else that will actually replenish your spiritual stores. And I know we specifically have been talking about, you know, increasing your time with spirit so that you can actually have your internal well filled, because there's certain things that only spirit can actually revitalize us with. Sleep can only do so much, food can only do so much, water can only do so much, right? So that's already come up. And there may be other things related to, again, things that bring you pleasure that are not in service to other. Those things also replenish. So go to those. I will do more bath. I'm really working on speaking up and definitely learning to say no. Beautiful. Happy to hear it. Okay. Resonance. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Moving on now to wealth, unless anybody has any questions on this. I was expecting all that health stuff to come up, so I don't want to like move through that if there's still stuff, but it feels like it's good. But let me know if there's anything else on the health things. All right, I think we're good. Definitely receive that understanding, commanding replenishment now. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, and so again, spirit is like, rest is not just limited to laying down or inactivity. The rest, so that we have a broader view, again, the Six of Swords thing, is a resting from work. So in some cases, that can mean, yes, you need more sleep, yes, you need to go take a nap or whatever. Or it can mean focusing on something else that is not related to work. So it's not just inactivity. Rest can also be activity, but it's activity for you. So if you're one of those folks who's just like, you know, I actually do get a lot of rest and nothing's helping, then it's probably like there's other stuff that you can be investing energy, and you actually just have to push through your mindset to think differently about how your energy actually wants to move. Because I guarantee, especially given the message that came through last week about the Nine of Cups, if you actually were putting focus and attention and action into what your Nine of Cups is, that sense of tiredness would dissipate significantly. Okay, moving on to wealth things. So money, money, money. So money will continue to maintain I'm not seeing any big, necessarily big shifts, but there is something new that has opened up, and that might be a shift in your belief system. It could also be a new opportunity. We'll see when I get to the work stuff. This is just general money flow. So, whether that's coming through work, whether it's, investments, taxes, debts, credit card stuff, loans, all that kind of thing. So it may or may not be related to work. Oh, I think there's actually a consideration. This is making sense. Okay. I think there's a consideration right now about, because we're in this space of nine of wands. I believe that we're contemplating what the next step is, because things are good and we have the time and space to put things in place to create our 9 of cups, right? Because we've already been thinking about that. So make sure you pull that message from last week into this week's message. What's going to be important for sure, though, is allowing for the unknown, the sacred mystery, to present to you other options for what that could look like. Because you're already clear. You're already clear about the known ways to handle your money, or the known goals that you have. So maybe, you have a goal of like paying down credit card debt, or paying off your student loans. Maybe you want to advocate for a pay raise at your job. I mean, there's plenty. I mean, we got 6 of Swords here. There's plenty that you do already know and are aware of and have an objective sense of. So this isn't a starting over, a rebuilding thing, but it's like, okay, so I know what I'm working on. I know what I want to work with. I know it's already working. If some things are not working, I'm adjusting that. But I have a pretty good scope of what I know. But to break through to whatever the next threshold is, whether that is, debt-free life, whatever it is, be open to what spirit has for you. Do you see and feel how intense this energy is in a good way? So be in communication with your spirit. Because there's no point in circling around the stuff that you already know. Like, don't, especially if we're already sitting here, or some of you are already sitting here with the 9 of Wands on the health stuff. Don't waste your energy circling what you already know. Let this be a week where you are specifically communing with your higher self and the unknown. So in your daily time with spirit, journaling time, whatever, keep asking the unknown to be revealed to you. Let my unknown be known to me. As it relates to what's next for me to focus on, to continue to bring dreams, wishes, for my highest and greatest good to pass. These are the things that I know, that I deeply want to hear and know from the sacred unknown, the sacred mysteries, because High Priestess is the keeper of the mysteries. And she bestows information to you as warranted. So that's already in the environment. So ask regularly. Excuse me. Ask regularly. Okay. Because in whatever way that you feel has your money has stabilized, and again, where you want to move to next, stabilized, depending on your perspective of it, you may perceive as stagnation. I feel like this is about to be a word for fall for folks. But also I feel like it's going to be a word for fall, for autumn. Because we've been talking about the shift, not from surviving to thriving, but the shift from surviving to living, and freaking out and not knowing how to have peace be the foundation of your life because you're used to chaos. Are you actually having financial struggles just because you're not in a state of perpetual growth? Or are you in a place of stability? And if you feel like you are stagnant, then I invite you to take a step back and to look at how long you've actually been stagnant. Because if it's only been a couple months or a year, that's not stagnancy, that's stability. That is a strengthening and a reorientation of what the new foundation is to build from. So the mountaintop now becomes the valley. But you won't know that if you're not going to prioritize seeing from a broader perspective where you are now. Yeah, if we're just talking like 12 months, y'all, like you haven't stalled out. You can still do this work of asking what's next, right? Because as we know, nothing stays the same. So there will be a time to shift and to grow. And that's fine, but also don't freak yourself out because you're fine. You're okay. This is also a card of like healing and rest after a long battle. Chill the fuck out. Now, for those where it's like, oh no, it's actually been a few years and there has not been a budging, then there's something else that has to get looked at, some kind of shift that has to be addressed. That's beyond what you know. Because again, you know this, you need to submit to the unknown. That's a spiritual walk. All of this is spiritual walk. I won't actually like make that distinction. It makes a lot of sense. Beautiful. This is resonating. I've been unemployed since June and finances have been stressful, especially for my wife. Yeah, sorry to hear that. And listen, trust and believe this is not easy, but I'm also talking about money that's pretty much staying the same in a broader context. So this is more year kind of stuff, not like immediate things. That's different. That's a different energy, different things to be addressed. Now, Scorpio is great for that. Scorpio and Taurus are great for that, for addressing things, because they are the money signs, if you will, at least on the surface, right? So they can be really good at helping your mind really be aware and tuned into, how do I make money and make more? Okay. I think that is it. For some of you, you do actually have something already with this Page of Cups that relates to, you know, whatever the particular goal is that you have, whether it's increasing money or having money for investment or paying down debts or whatever. But it also might be looking at how you tend to approach things from an emotional place instead of from an objective place, and that might have to be a switch as well. It's not good to make money decisions based off of emotion or based off of belief systems that are not in alignment with how spirit sees money. Money is just resource. Take what resonates with that. Let's see. Yvonne says, have willingly and happily exchanged financial stability for freedom and more time. Listen, entrepreneur life is, you know, it's its own thing. It's not easy at times, but yes, a lot of mind fuck coming with it. Yep, but in the good, but good in the belly brain. Yes, yes. Accept a new job offer last Friday. Yes, that's this Ace of Pentacles. Come through. Beautiful. Lots of learning for you, Atia, with that Page of Swords. Okay. I think that is it. So we will switch now to, what did I say? Am I going to do work or no, relationships? Okay. Guess this will be relationships of all types. I'll see if there's specific contexts that tend to come through. Take it as it resonates, though. For relationships, this is just people that you are regularly interacting with, but also possibly ones that you just have a strong connection with, whether or not you all interact often. The amount of contacts does not correlate to the amount of connection, because obviously we have friends that we might only touch base with a few times a year, but our bond is just as strong with them as it is with somebody that we might be hanging out with every week, right? So try not to create difference where there's not difference, right? Thank you. Lean into logic for sure. Another opportunity that seems emotionally fulfilling, but the money for it wasn't what I need. Listen, yes, thank you, Atia, for sharing that. That's an example of creating that distinction and making sure that your needs are met. Because high key, it really would not be emotionally fulfilling if they didn't have the money to pay for what you need. That's a relationship message too. Just because on the surface it looks like, or 3/4 of the pie is what you want, but 1/4 of that pie is not, it's actually not going to be fulfilling for where you are now. It might have been perfect for where you were 5 years ago. But the importance of this is assessing where you are now. You have 9 wands. That's a different negotiation and assessment and perception process than, 3 or 4 wands, right? Yes. Same thing in relationships. And this is not, that people are perfect, but it's like, oh, most of what I need, and this is going to be relating to like, intense connections like business partnership or like a marriage partner. Right? So not like, a new acquaintance that, might be a friend. Like let's keep things in perspective with that. But yeah, we can't say that it was emotionally fulfilling if all the needs aren't getting met or there isn't a willingness, 1, and 2, an ability to meet a need in the process. This is for me. I need the whole apple pie. Listen, the 3/4 of the pie sure is tempting. Yes, of course. And also, there are other areas where we do the 3/4. So remember, when we started for this guidance for today and for the week ahead, we're talking about new things that are coming in. So trust and believe. You have existing relationships, jobs, situations, or whatever that are only 3/4 or even less. So there's that. For the new, yes, willingness and ability. For the new things that are being considered, new friendships, and friendships versus acquaintances. So like friendships require a lot more investment and intimacy and time to build, y'all. Okay, not just having somebody that like, oh, you're cool. Friendship takes more investment. Romantic relationship takes more investment. Business partnership or collaboration takes more investment. A new job takes more investment, right? So of that, choosing what because 9 of Wands is somebody who's been through some shit. You had to fight some wars. You have experience. You have lessons. You can't go into this process being like, oh, I don't know. Because this does not have to be your reality. The Hanged Man, which is healing as well. I forgot to mention this earlier. This is a healing card. And it's miraculous healing because it's the divine stepping in. And wholeness, healing and wholeness is your reality. You don't have to keep recreating suffering. Okay? I used to jump at a pie slice. Listen. In some contexts, we still do, and it's okay. And really, it's okay. Like, also, please, 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 please hear this, y'all. There's nothing wrong with having a pie slice. There's nothing wrong with 2/3, with a quarter, with whatever. But for the big things, for the things that actually would have a big impact on your life. And since we're in Scorpio season, this is going to be money things, which may or may not be work related, but money and sex. Because shit can really get fucked up with sexual partners / romantic partners, right? Money and sex things, for at least those two. Obviously, we're talking about more than that today. But where the stakes are or can be high, choose whole pie. If the stakes aren't that high, you got time to play, choose the rest, right? But don't jeopardize the stability that has been hard won and hard fought for anything that's new, that's important, by taking 3/4 instead of the whole. Because again, you don't have to. You're already at the mountaintop. The mountaintop is in the process and has been in the process, but is continuing to be in the process of becoming the new foundation, the new valley from which you will be building from. So in some ways, there really is no going back. And there will be a part in the process where you won't even be considering 3/4 of the pie. Because you're going to be so far away from what that old valley was. It's like not even going to present because it can't. Come through healing and wholeness being the reality, because all of me is so tired. Right. I was the queen of pie slice acceptance. Listen, but again, sometimes that one slice is all you need. You just need a little something to hold you over. So we're not gonna knock the pie slice. You can not gonna knock the pie slice. Like, get your pleasure, get your fun. You know, just like be strategic about it. Don't play with your money. And don't play with your heart. Also, don't play with your body. Like, be safe, you know, if you're going to be playing sexually, but like, yeah, don't play with your money. Don't play with your heart. You'll be good. If that's not a Scorpio message, play every other way. Just don't play with your money. Don't play with your heart. You'll be good. Okay. Was that the message for relationships? I wasn't expecting that, but that might have been. If so, thank you, Atia, for blessing us. You always bless when you appear. Just FYI, affirming that for you. All you have to do is just show up and share, and you liberate. And we are all here for it. Thank you. Yeah, come through. That's a message. Yes. Oh, Shay, you're on YouTube. Your comment came in right at 11:11. I love it. All right, last message with relationships in general. Keep saying and affirming what it is that you want, which, you know, can be happening verbally, but also through action. I feel like there's something else here. Hold on. Let me check my battery real quick. Okay. It's going to be a little bit longer message today. Yes, for the confirmation. Beautiful. My name means righteous gift. Thank you. Oh, see. Look at you living out your soul purpose. Side note, I also love that. Both on IG and YouTube, if you know what your name means, whether it's first name or even your full name, share it in the comments and speak your soul purpose. And part of that also too is affirming what, I've shared in the past, that your soul purpose is not a job. It's your existence and how you show up, what aspect of divinity you literally embody and bring to the world just by being here. Service is going to be a soul assignment or a call, as I like to call it. But that is not necessarily something that folks necessarily have or need to do, but soul purpose every single person has, and again, that is just your existence. So if you know what your name means, share it in the comments, and I would love to speak the gathering of the souls here today. Let's see. I love the name meaning. Yes, I've been looking at the etymology of names all week. 9. Mine means fiery beacon or beacon of light. Oh, yes, because it's the brand. Yes. Yes. Oh, I love that. Thank you. Woman, knowledge, and wisdom. Oh, interesting, Aisha. Oh, I just felt that drop in the spirit. Yeah, things are going to be shifting for you in a few years, because stepping back into that in a more public way, front-facing way, I'll say, is definitely going to be a thing. It's not yet, but women's wisdom for real. Like I feel it. Oh, I feel it. Oh my gosh. Yo. No wonder so much pushback, because yeah, folks really have a problem with powerful women, in particular powerful African women. But see, this is what happens when you come across the the Oracle. I'm just like, nah, we're gonna put a stop to that. We're gonna free our people. I honor God, God's messenger, beautiful. Goddess of wisdom, beautiful. Look at all these. Wow, I love this. Wholeness or perfection. Sweet, yes. Victory of the people, beautiful. Giver of light or shining light. I would say shining light. I need to give light. You can if you want. Graceful flowing water. Oh, and you're Pisces. Okay. Oh yeah, lots of layers. Also in Hindi. Yeah. What's the meaning in Hindi though? Bold, brave, warrior princess, graceful. I mean, I love how we have all of these wise women and lights and almost like sword energy, warrior energy coming through. Ricky apparently means forever or alone. I'm claiming forever. I'm a healer. I mean, alone is not lonely. Just for clarification, Ricky, alone is not lonely. Yeah. If you need more on that, we can talk about it. It's a lot Asian Uber drivers get excited when they see my name. I feel like this has to deal with the it's a deeply spiritually meaning, but let me know, because it's like almost in consciousness, but I think I just need you to bring it forward. My name means white or pure. The T, right? Love that. Peaceful ruler. Yeah, so exactly. Because the example that came into mind, which I didn't speak, but was like, you know, a king or a queen is alone, but they're not lonely. Their station or their role or the work they do is specific to them. It's not shared. There might be, obviously are going to be other kings or whatever, but for what is theirs, it's just them. Archeress, interesting. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Fascinating. Let's see. On YouTube, we have Messenger of Love. Oh, beautiful. Got a lot of angels here, which makes sense because I'm an angel too. Noble and exalted nature, free person, and song. Ooh. Free person. Listen. Just the importance of being a free Black woman. Alicia. Okay. Oh, Aisha means goddess in Hindi. Okay, that's why I was like, wait, because I'm like seeing like aspects of a chakra. Is there a specific chakra? Because I feel like there is a specific chakra. I'm seeing a crescent, and I can't remember. That might be the Shakti, or not the Shakti, but the sacral, or Ajna. I can't remember. It might actually be both, because I think there's a few where there's a crescent moon. Oh, no wonder we're also family. That's about to be a tangent. I'm gonna leave that alone. Deity, light. I've heard other things as well too. Beautiful. So much light in here, y'all. This is gorgeous. Back on YouTube, Sharice's beloved, grace, and charity. I love it. So much light. I can feel it. Yeah. If you are able to perceive it, feel it, see it, however, this is what soul recognition feels like. So even though most of you don't like actually know one another, the speaking of who we are, because our names are not by accident, okay? Regardless of how problematic our parents might have been, names that come to us and that are given to us, whether they realize it or not, are usually, I'll say like 99% of the time, directly tied to our actual soul purpose. So yeah, the speaking of our truth immediately at a deep soul level can make it easier to perceive not only the fullness of who you are, but also who you're in the presence of. Let's see. Oh my God, I know. This is why I love you, Alicia. Receipt that I'm not trying to hand my light out, but I will shine. Yeah. Yeah. And that'd be interesting too, if it's light or fire, because if it's light, that's different. But if it's fire, fire can be given because it's not diminished when it's shared. Holy Victor or Goddess of Light. Listen, all this light. May shed a tear in a moment. Thank you. You're welcome. This is beautiful. My boyfriend struggles with my freedom. I'm Libra and he's Capricorn. He won't struggle because Capricorn and Libra actually is really, can be really, really good energy if they're both operating in their true nature. Saturn is exalted, which the ruler of Capricorn is exalted in Libra because Libra is the judge, the fair judge. I'll say it that way. So if there is a struggle or insecurity or issue around what you're perceiving as freedom, is because, I mean, I don't know his situation, but I'm just going to go with what Spirit's bringing. It's because there is a potential lack of trust or yeah, it's something around the trust thing. Because the Libra nature at some level may not be presenting, or the roots of the freedom or how it's showing up may not be alignment with the highest that Libra can be. That was really jumbled, but officially crying and thinking of my mom. Oh, yay. My father's actually the one that gave me my name. Let's see. My father named me. I'm in gratitude because so much of my wounding comes from our relationship. Same. But he gifted me a powerful name without knowing. Yeah. My name is Grace of God. Angel. God messenger, right? The angel. And high priest of war and fame. So a lot of love and light, but also like don't cross a bitch, which I'm not mad about. But Jynnette specifically is Grace of God. Yeah. That's what we lead with. The family name, which is the father name, is the high priest of war and fame. So that it's still a high priest, but it's also like I can sit at the thresholds of the mysteries and also be in the battlefield. Sword doesn't come out often now because more often than not, I'm like balancing karma for the family. So I'm not really allowed to be out here fighting, even though I stay wanting to fight. Folks who've been with me for a while know this. Like I'd be ready. And Spirit's like, no. Like, your people have done that enough. Chill. So, responsible use of power over here. I'm trying. Doing a pretty good job so far, right? Yes, the war. But no, always mad respect for the warriors because, I get it. But I also know the importance of and the sanctity of sending folks to war. It's not a small thing. It's not something that is to be done lightly because the sacrifice is great. So we just don't, we're not out here to fight just to fight if there's going to be any fighting. because ultimately we serve healing and wholeness. So, okay. That was a beautiful tangent. Thank you all for sharing. That's an example of coming home to self. Acknowledging, speaking, becoming aware of, accepting your soul purpose, which is encoded in your name. All right, I believe that is it then for relationships. So let's go to work things. And then when we finish the work message, we'll shift to the next deck and we'll do Ancestor Messages. And I think that will actually be it in terms of guidance for the week ahead, because this has already been plenty. This feels nice. I don't think it needs to be more than that. So, alrighty. Get some more water. Take a nice deep breath, everybody. Settle back into the body. Because I also know that just got us like real hype. So we want to integrate all of that. And also like allow that to spread through the rest of our aura field. If we've been needing, additional energy body clearing, let that increased flow from our soul transmute and process out any heavier, denser energies within our body, our emotions, our mind, our heart. Also higher self, celestial self, heavenly self, like all of it. Okay. Okay, bye, Tamil. All right, work things. Okay, so with work, it's going to be whether you are working for someone else or working for yourself, meaning you have your own business, or both. Okay. Regardless of your context, there is definitely something new that has either opened up or been presented, or just some new thing that you are embarking upon, and it's recent, so within the last 2 to 4 weeks max. And it looks like regardless of what it is, the focus is communication based. So keeping with that, or learning or learning, right? With the Page of Swords. You are regardless going to have to surrender to the process. I'm getting surrender with this because with the High Priestess here in the environment, you don't actually know. It's being hidden from you. It's beneficial though, but you don't actually know what the effect is going to be. So your job is to still keep showing up, keep trusting the wisdom and guidance of your higher self. If there are any concerns, make sure you maintain your courage. Things will shift. Got the Wheel of Fortune underneath that. But again, this is for the week ahead. So there's not big action is just Page of Swords. If you are perceiving whatever is occurring as, again, stagnation, shift that perspective to understand that it's stability. Maintain Six of Swords, which is the higher objective of the matter. And if this is more communication based, all right, for the communication oriented part of the group that's resonating with this, speak from heart. Okay. For those who are in more of a learning kind of context, keep remembering your why. Because you may be learning things that are taking you outside of your comfort zone, meaning like it's slightly beyond what you know. So you're back in like a childlike state and in a position where you may potentially be making a mistake and you might be getting in your head about that. You might be getting discouraged about that. Come back to your why. For either context, whatever's being done right now is not for right now. Okay. And hello to folks on YouTube and IG. You'll see me looking in both places because I'm simultaneously streaming. Yeah, what you're doing, regardless of which group you resonate with, is not for the right now, it's for the what's to come. So that might also need to be the objective perspective you need to take. Which may also mean the pulling out of emotion if you're getting too much in the emotional space and focusing more on mind. Because heart's in the right place, but again, pull back. You're not going to know where and how specifically you're going to land in a new place, but your job is to keep reorienting towards the becoming rather than what's been. And that's easier said than done, right? Because that requires being, give me a little show, which I don't mind, but that can be a scary place because it is new. So this is also speaking again to developing that relationship with the unknown and actively engaging with that, especially if that has fallen off. Scorpio is the gatekeeper to the great mystery, to the unknown. We have to pass through Scorpio to have access to Pisces, which is the ocean, right? So befriend the Scorpio archetype for this process. And ask for support if you feel like you need it, if you're like bumping your head against the wall with something. or if you need help having a broader view. Because there's so much yin energy here with the hangman and the high priestess, which is the yin being the feminine principle, right? The sacred black. It can seem like not a lot is going on. But this is what womb space feels like. Can you hold? Now, mind you, we just talked about all this light, right? That we were experiencing not only of ourselves, but of each other. Can we maintain our light? See all the light here? The strength card is literally the sun. The hangman, literally light here. The angel here, which is our higher self, our soul, light. Can you stay the course? Can you surrender when you're in new territory? And surrender is not giving up, but it's releasing control off of the how, showing up in the way that you need, in any way that the mystery tells you. But beyond that, it's let that be enough and let spirit move, because spirit is all over this. It's important at different stages of our life to not look at this. I actually just noticed this. Now, mind you, I've had this deck for the longest time, years. I have just noticed, and let me know if someone else knows this, because I'm really having a moment right now. If you're familiar with tarot, but I'm just noticing on this High Priestess card in the Rider-Waite deck specifically, it'll be different for other decks. For whatever reason, my mind had always filled in that behind the veil, behind these columns, was a temple. And I just picked up that what's behind is a calm ocean. I just perceived that, y'all. I just perceived that. Did anyone else actually know this, or is this the first time you are perceiving this? That's an example of like a major perception shift. You have a way of viewing the world. And this is also an example of like how Uranus works. It's like a inspiration or insight, like that kind of, that's Uranus energy. It's not just like, tower and destruction. But it's like, oh, I've, for the entire time up until today, right, have had it in my mind or perceived, really filled in an assumption because of the terminology High Priestess and associating that again with the imagery and temple and like all that, filled in what this meant. And I just got shown, nothing has changed in the card. I just got shown like, oh, what you've been perceiving as true, as being there, is actually not what's there. Not that, the perception was incorrect. Being incorrect does not make me wrong, right? It doesn't devalue me, but it's just incorrect. There's now a clearer perception of all that's here. I was seeing maybe 80% of this. Dare I say I'm now seeing 100? Dare I say maybe I'll just say 90%? right? Because there might be something else that pops up later. Um, but something that simple. So I love that for reinforcing this kind of energy here, because this seems small, but these shifts, and again, I mentioned this at the beginning, they're tweaks to what's there, because we're already at the 9. We're not starting over from scratch. Minor shifts. Minor shifts. That's really interesting in the process of personal and spiritual development that, that's coming through with the Hangman right now. Because it's like that process also is, in addition to everything else that we know, is a precursor to the next card, which is card 13, the Scorpio card, the death card. Transformation, transmutation. So just that shift in perception now transforms what is seen, information that now can be received, because something can always exist, but if we're not perceiving it, then we're not engaging with it and we're not able to have that experience. Nothing externally has actually changed, but what we perceived has shifted. And because the perception has shifted, that will eventually, if needed, but most likely will eventually lead to a shift in action. A simple example that I give of perception changes is how you can be living in a city or neighborhood for the longest time and feel like you know that place like the back of your hand. And then somebody new can move in and be like, I love that coffee shop on the corner. They have the best, croissants or whatever. And you're like, there's no coffee shop that's there on the corner. And they have to be like, yeah, it's at, such and such street. You've never even noticed it because it's just become part of the background. It's never actually popped out at you. The coffee shop did not magically appear, right? It has not magically appeared, but it being brought to your attention now has filled in what you perceive in your environment. Now, whether or not you choose to go to that coffee shop, engage with the business or whatever, it's up to you. You don't have to, but it's there. Have my people like texting me, apologies. So yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to engage with that, but it's like something just got unlocked. It's like, oh, this has been here this whole time. Maybe I've been going to a coffee shop like several streets down the road and like have been annoyed because it's like more out of the way, and there's something here that's actually closer, that's even easier for me to access. Maybe it's a independently owned business instead of like a corporate chain, right? Like this doesn't have to be big overhaul stuff. Let's see. So true. Might even shifting something as an issue to what the lessons are to be learned, and often learning and embodying those lessons can bring the situation to completion with our change of actions. Yeah. But this isn't even, yes, and this is not lesson. In terms of, oh, this is something I've had to work through. It's just all of what you know. And that's the thing with when you work with the unknown, with the sacred mystery. It's all of that and that's a message. Bye, Brandy. You are welcome. Yeah, see you later. Okay, moving on, unless there are questions on that. We will move on. Okay. No questions? We're good? Beautiful, beautiful. That was yummy. I like that format. I'm glad that that insight came through. This feels like today's session was very impactful, so it makes me happy. All right, so we're gonna do, I guess, ancestry messages, and I'll feel into what that needs to be. If it's a, let me reset this first. I know we're going longer today. It's almost, 2 hours. Listen, but if you've been following me for a while, you know how things tend to be when it's autumn and winter season. This is high spirit time for me, so Oracle Talks tends to go longer. And I'm here for it. It's not a bad thing, but it's par for the course right now because I really am sitting very close to the great mysteries. I mean, I already do, but the time of year definitely impacts that for sure. All right. So we're going to let those messages go. I'm not going to stress about holding on to or remembering anything. Whatever we need has been received. We can always circle back to notes if we're taking notes or on the recording, assuming this stays recorded. It should be fine though. Is it high spirit time because of Scorpio season? I've been curious about that. No, for me, it's high ancestor season, but that's the case for Scorpio and Taurus regardless. But the seasons of autumn and winter are the yin cycles. And then spring and summer are the yang cycles. So northern hemisphere, we're in the yin part of the cycle. Southern hemisphere is in the yang part of the cycle. So when I say we, I'm speaking specifically the northern hemisphere, not the globe, to be clear. Or to be specific, I should say. To be specific. But yeah, Scorpio and Taurus time is more heavier ancestry specifically time. And yeah, it can also obviously open up to other things, but the focus on, direct bloodlines as well as spiritual lineages is present. Yay, and welcome to new folks who are joining. We've still got new folks coming in, both on IG and YouTube, so welcome. Please say hi to the rest of the Soul family. Let us know where you're joining from, what, if anything, you may be sipping on or eating. We just finished the first set of messages, which took basically almost 2 hours, addressing health, concerns, money stuff, relationships, and work and career. So definitely circle back for that on the recording. And right now we're going to get into ancestor messages. All right, so closing the eyes this time, or again, if you keep your eyes open, focusing on a point on the floor, 4 to 6 feet in front of you. Slowing down your breathing, deepening the breathing. Keeping it easy. And asking your higher self, celestial self, and heavenly self to continue to bring us into perfect and deeper, coherent resonance with the true nature of our soul, removing any new obstacles that may have emerged within from that resonance, releasing them completely. Bringing all of our mind, emotions, body, and heart into this resonance, removing all the obstacles within those aspects of our humanity, and opening up the pathways of communication as well as opportunities and abundance in this time now, in the day ahead, in the night ahead, in the days and the weeks ahead. And so we are asking our higher self, celestial self, heavenly self, to prepare and reorient to receiving these messages regarding our ancestors. And let's see what's coming through for this. Oh, Nova Scotia. Nice. And water. Water is important. Water is important. One second. You got lemon ginger tea. Beautiful. You and these angel numbers, Shay. 11:55. Yes, energy shifting, Sean. Yawn. Yep. Yeah, yawning, burping, sighing, possibly brief muscle spasms are an indication of a shift in the energy. Thank you for the blessings from Oregon. Welcome, welcome. As this energy is shifting, I'm going to make two quick announcements. One is the 2022 Astrology Year Ahead Intensives are now available to sign up for. There's 4 different sessions available across 2 days. You can sign up for those on my website. Let me actually put that up here on YouTube, Innocent Alchemy, or if you're on IG, you can go to the link in my bio to sign up for that. So we'll be going through the astrology for the year ahead. It does come with a workbook that will be sent with the confirmation email the day before. This is something I only do once a year. There's a lot of information, and also we only have one astrology new year, so come through for that. Second announcement is that enrollment is open for my group coaching program, the Lightworker Incubator. If you have been receiving the call from Spirit to return home to self in a deeper way, and whatever that is looking like, come through. It is a 6-month program because it takes time to learn new things and to make adjustments and to step into greater and greater levels of soul sovereignty and power, and to be able to practically integrate different spiritual tools and techniques into your life moving forward, so that, again, you're building a new foundation, stronger one for whatever the next chapter of your life is. So you can, again, find the information for that, read up on all the program details on the website. You'll see a tab for Lightworker Incubator. Again, on IG, just click the link in the bio. You can apply there. Everybody who applies gets a free clarity call with me, so I can answer any questions that you have, concerns, what have you, and we can talk and see if this is something that is going to be best for you. Most of the time it is. Sometimes it's a no. But if it's a no, we'll get information about why it's a no. Because it's usually like a not yet if it's a no. And that will be starting in January. So enrollment will close mid-December. So we have time. You have time to learn and ask questions, get the information you need, but definitely come through. It's going to be a beautiful, grounding, self-oriented, self-fortifying group for this upcoming one. With this North Node shift into Taurus. So if you're really like on a me, myself, and I thing, or if you're like, it's time to boss up, either of those two is going to work. Yeah. And it will be a reunion of soul family because everybody who is called is soul family. And it is time to go deeper. There is more to you. And there is more to the support you can have spiritually in your spiritual development than what you've been giving yourself. Spiritual maturity is important. And you're ready. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. Not just here in this live, but also in this incarnation, in this time of human history. This is actually something that is going to be par for the course for your life, period. So it's not a matter of if you're going to do it, it's just a matter of when. To be clear, the separation of spirit and our humanity is what is dying. So we are creating a new karmic path for our collective humanity by accepting that and willingly leaning into it of our own volition versus being forced into it, because that never feels good. All right, some of y'all needed to hear that message because I felt the relief. Because apparently there's been a war about like, is that for me? Am I to do it? Like, it's for everyone. And it's for everyone to do in their lifetime. If you are alive in this incarnation, in this time of life, this is actually, well, okay, this is part of the soul assignment. And that may or may not translate to, you know, you starting a business or like being a healer. Like it's not tied to a work service in that capitalistic way. There may be a component. That's not the requirement, but the spiritual maturity, the spiritual development is actually an assignment. We chose to come here and to turn the wheel of karma to light out of the darkness. We are the ones who said yes and chose to come back, whether from the heavenly realms or in our families, because we've maintained our connection to source through all of the vicissitudes that we've experienced. And so we are strong enough in consciousness, in heart, and in character. And we've made that commitment, especially with our family. This is the channel message, y'all, if you're wondering what's happening. We made that commitment also with our family that we would be the ones who would do that, and that they would be the ones who'd be willing to take on some of the tougher stuff and buffer some of that so that we could have enough space within the context of where we are now in our humanity to be able to do so with as much freedom and ease and grace and opportunity and access to people, places, things, resources to do so. You being here is a choice. It is not a burden. It is actually an act of love. The burden comes in because there's a refusal to accept who we are and the role we have to play. The burden comes because we are refusing to accept who we are and what we've said yes to, which has all been born out of an act of love, a decision of love, not martyrdom or saviorism. It is born out of a recognition and a clarity about where we are in the cycle and a choosing to actively engage with supporting that process and this transition. If you are here, you are not alone. It's not just you doing it. We are all doing it. And not by force of our mind, our ego, but because of our insistence of reality, of the truth of things, that spirit is the foundation for life. And that our soul is sovereign. And we always have the opportunity to access and utilize and become more masterful in perceiving as our soul, living as our soul, making use of our soul power. It is not for a special elite of folks in a temple somewhere or with a title. We are what we've been waiting for. We are the ancestors of light. We are the masters, the teachers, the warriors, the protectors. It is us. Thank you, just to clarify. Current incubatee here, I love that. Can attest it takes time. Yes, that's why it's 6 months. Right? It's not 90 days like we need time. But time well spent in a beautiful container. Thank you. Do yourself a favor and check it out. Thank you. That one sent a shiver. It is time to go deeper. There is more to you. Yes, there is more to you. Yes, I needed that and likely will be joining. Glad to have you in advance. Spirit is foundation of life. Maybe tear up. Beautiful. Water is healing that is occurring in the spirit. And all beings are sovereign beings, remembering our connection with all living beings. Yes, of course. For sure. But they're handling themselves. We're here to handle ourselves. Truly. We need to get ourselves together. And that's a choice. That is a choice. Okay, so always on time. Always on time. Always on time. On YouTube, Cherise says, from an Incubator alumni, always evolving. I say Amen, Ashe, Amin, Hotep, and Hallelujah. All the praises. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Your existence is the work. And the deeper you go in your spiritual development, your spiritual work, creates a stronger pillar of light. Oh, you can just do hearts. I mean, I won't know who it's coming from, but unless if you don't have emojis for the wave, then. I believe I've shared with y'all the vision that I had back in 2012 when I was shown my choice to come back to the planet. And that was the first time I ever had any kind of experience like that. Like, I've had other experience, but it was more like me in spirit kind of thing. But this was I was shown soul journey. But in case those of you who are here who have not heard that, whatever that previous incarnation was, and there's no time in spirit, so I'm just saying previous, not necessarily past, because I think it actually was a future incarnation, but anyway. But whatever the previous incarnation was, when I had ascended, because I definitely had ascended consciously. It wasn't just like I die and whatever. Like I had, for lack of a better phrasing for right now, had engaged with the process of Mahasamadhi, which is conscious death, and had ascended. And I saw the planet, so I ascended into the cosmos. So I saw Earth, and I saw the souls on Earth, human souls specifically, because there's a lot of souls on Earth, because there's a lot of consciousness on Earth, but human souls. I was seeing not all human souls, but a significant amount of human souls throughout the entire planet, beaming as pillars of light, a golden white light. It's like shining. It kind of gives the vibes of, I believe it's the intro for the Universal Studios produced films where you see the globe turning and there's like light coming from, it's more so coming from the land masses, like the outline of the land masses. Similar kind of vibe to that, but it was really like, for individual folks. So pillars of light. And like that increasing and making the choice, deep, deep love, to come back in and support that literal evolution of consciousness, but also just like, not even like explosion, but just, I don't have a word for that. Hopefully you can pick up on the feeling, because I don't have a word yet. It might come later. There is no hierarchy in the pillars. Like I wasn't being shown like, oh, somebody has a business over here, or somebody has this title of priest over here, or somebody, Emanation, yes. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you. That's part of it. I'm sure there's probably a bunch of words, but that's getting closer to it. There was no hierarchy. You know, the pillars weren't bigger than another. Like there was no scale. There was no title. There was no race or ethnicity or nationality. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what we're here to be and exist as, regardless of however our life, our profession, or whatever looks like. It's irrelevant. Because even if your profession is tied to some type of service, whatever the context is, the personal soul, spiritual mastery, development work is the thing. Period. Your existence and the increased expression from your soul directly through your humanity without obstruction within you, meaning the light is not being refracted, it's just the pure light coming through. So the white visible light spectrum versus you emanating a particular color, I would say would be the goal, so to speak. So that's part of what you don't directly, you know, I don't lead with that with the incubator when I talk about it, but since it's coming out, I'll say that. With the work that we do in the incubator, you are actually basically transforming and getting to that place where more and more of the soul is shining through. A really fun thing to do if you have access and resources to do so is to get an aura photo before the process, or if you have one from years ago, and take one after the incubator. Either directly after or 90 days or 3 to 6 months after, and just see the shift. I mean, at this point, especially for those of you who have clairvoyance and who've been with me in particular over the last 2 years, you know I've been staying in this white light period, not because I'm trying to be white light. I evolved. And I've also seen that through, visually in my clairvoyance, but also in aura photos. I have a photo from 20 years ago, actually longer, before my reawakening experience or sometime around that. And it was already high vibe, so to speak, right? Already high. But even these last couple of years, I saw the shift. And now it's just pure white. There might be a color that will pop in depending on, what's being transmitted that day, but it's white. I should have taken an aura photo before the incubator. It's okay. You can still do one. Because, if you come through still for the alumni group, you'll continue to do work. But it's good to see. Even if you don't have an aura photo, for folks who've come through, you can already assess the difference between when you start versus when you end, just with your perception through your clair abilities. That's also a way of having evidence of how clear your field is. And by clear, I mean minimal obstruction from the true nature of the soul shining through the window of human personality without obstruction. The colors aren't bad. Let me also be clear about that. But when we talk about going deeper spiritually, necessarily you will shift to showing up as pure white or even golden white light. That's not an annihilation of the other colors. It's a reclamation of all of them. That's the only reason why you can even show white. Does that make sense? You can only show the full spectrum if you have reclaimed all of you, as opposed to just showing and compartmentalizing parts of you, because that's acceptable to show, but everything else is blocked up or I'm not giving access to. So even this idea around white or ascension and all of that is not an extraction away from all that is. It's not a pulling away from your humanity. It's not a pulling away from quote unquote shadow. Like, no. The white light includes the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, the purple, the brown, the black, all of it. Everybody had the basic chemistry, right, in high school? Like, it's not, you know, spiritual woo-woo talk. This is science. Yes, thank you. Love aura photos, and the last one provided loads of insight. It was mostly orange, some white, and blue. Beautiful. How does one take an aura photo? Just do a Google. They're not everywhere, so you have to like just do a search for like aura photos. And if you're in a place that has a high density of new age shops, you'll more likely find one. It might not be close, but you'll more likely find one. But yeah, just do a Google search. That's usually where you'll find them. Because the aura photo is basically the aura. I know it sounds like it's a, you know, again, fancy spiritual woo-woo kind of thing. And that's a way to separate us and think that it's not for us. But aura basically is another way of saying, or a one-word way of saying, our electromagnetic field, which is our soul. It is what is emanating from our body. So it's just a machine that is picking up what the emanations are. And most of the ones I've seen, like you're just going to have your hand on like some electrodes and it's just going to pick up the field. So the faster the rate of energy flow, which is basically what that means, that's going to relate to the color that shows. Which is also, again, light spectrum. So the cooler tones are the ones that have faster frequency. Now we tend to relate faster frequency with better because we put judgment on that. No, it's just different frequency. Oh, Aura Weaver in Atlanta area. Thank you for that, Atia. Beautiful. Okay. I think that was the ancestor message because I was really sitting there like, what is this supposed to be about? But it's like, we're the ancestors. And we've said yes to this, so. So we'll get a heavenly message then. I want a major arcana for this. Definitely gonna get one, nice. There's an app called Orla that lets you take aura photos on your phone. I haven't tried that. I would prefer folks actually do it in person though, so that there's an actual touching to the skin. Unless there's a wearable device that connects to the app, then I would say probably that, but Same as with, crystals. When you're picking out crystals, it's ideal for you to physically touch them, unless, of course, it's something that's rare or not available in a shop that you are patronizing. Then, you just have to touch it when it comes. But the physical connection is ideal. One second. Ooh, okay. Energy shifting for me while I channel this message. Some pulling a heaven message for everybody regarding this channeling that just came through. Oh, you're here in Southern California, Shay? That's awesome. Oh, yeah, the Salt Lounge. They don't have an in-house one, if I remember correctly. They have someone come in who has it. They are about to not close, but I think significantly limit in-person stuff by mid-December. So I don't know if they're going to do any last-minute things, but that'd be a good place for those who are in Southern California, Long Beach area specifically. Either seeing if that lady will be coming back in before they limit their access, or if they have information for them to get in contact. Just Google some in London. We have 2 places. Awesome. I'm so excited for this. Like, this makes me so happy. It makes me happy because it's like, do y'all get that you are literally engaging with right now a conscious relationship with your soul? Like, we just had took some time to speak our soul's names through our purpose, right? Through the names that we've been given. And now we're like, oh, I actually want to see my soul. I want to see myself. Right? Like, it's, I love it. It's so awesome. That's so awesome. I hope you feel good. I hope you are feeling excited because, again, it's not a burden. Not to say that there won't be tough stuff that comes up that has to be healed, but the healing is to help move those things which are obstructions from your soul shining through, right? That it's always in service to that. It's always in service to that. But let yourself get excited. So I'm pulling the message in my station as this, the Libra card. Which is basically High Priestess in heaven. I'm telling you all my secrets. Which is what the High Priestess does. But just so that you're clear about more of who I am. I feel some of y'all gathering like higher selves in some more of the heavenly energy, so that's nice. Not all of you, but okay, Princess of Swords. So this already came out. Oh, last time they were able to tape it in store. Oh, that's awesome. So that means they have that in store. That's really good to know. That's really good to know. Thank you for that info, Shay. So, I mean, yeah. You see the princess here guarding, defending, protecting the altar, which has a sacred incense. From all the distractions of the external world. And instead holding true. And notice that she's touching the altar. She's staying intimately connected. And she is engaging with both defense, as you can see with her shield there, as well as offense. And she's able to do that while still keeping direct contact with the soul. Now, mind you, all of the distractions externally is air. So regardless of what may be perceived as being solid is actually ephemeral. If you notice, the thing that's solid in the image for the Princess of Swords is the altar itself. Even the clouds she's standing on are clouds. It's a little bit more solidity because that's water, right, in the air. But the altar is the only thing that is truly solid. The altar is the earth of the soul, the foundation of the soul, the power of the soul. And look who's on the bottom of the deck, Queen of Swords. That altar becomes a throne. Queen still got that sword too, and at this time a head from what has already been conquered. And I'm hearing in this context for our message right now, this is ego or the maladaptive mind or belief systems. That is now the shield. Kind of like when you kill something, like an insect or whatever, and you leave the carcass of what you killed outside or near a point of entry as a message to anything else that might be trying to come in, like, this is what's going to happen to you if you step past this boundary, right? That's the shield, and still got the sword. But notice that queen is chilling. And look at the divine mind, which is the crown on them. Chilling to the point where she only got a shirt on or a skirt on because she's living that much in her authenticity. But for the purpose of this message, in addition to all of that I said, to bring this down to something simple to take away with is maintain the connection. And know that whatever it is that you're dealing with, because trust me, we're all dealing with stuff. From the perspective of the soul, it's like this wind. It is ephemeral. Whatever it is not going to take you out. This incarnation does not end here. This is just the beginning. So now specifically for us, besides coming through the Lightworker Incubator, Three of Wands, which is literally receive and accept energy. Seven of Wands on the bottom. What is for you is protected. Your blessings are already here. Whether you can perceive of all of them or not because of the defenses, the shields. You are in your power currently. Stay in that, but receive. And you might have already consciously received them and maybe saying that verbally, but accept it as well too. In the spirit, in the mind, in your heart, your emotions, and in your actions. They are protected. What is for you is for you.
Come here, you're not going. Come here, come here.
And the first thing that's for you is your soul. This is also soul power. Literally as a child of the divine, because this is the sun in Aries. You are whole and perfect. And what did I say last week? Your soul does not need to be decolonized. Your soul doesn't need to be fixed. If you focus on coming home to self, to soul, everything which is not in alignment with that will slough off naturally. You don't have to work so hard. My soul is for me, yes. All right, and then this is going to be how we're being supported by our family in heaven while we do this work of receiving and accepting and prioritizing the deepening relationship with our soul, and in particular, our soul expression, and doing whatever is necessary to remove and heal and clear those things internally that are blocking that from occurring. Listen, Scorpio's coming through today with these messages. Gotta love Moon and Scorpio vibes. Giving thanks. Thank you all for still being here, checking with me. We're like 2.5 hours in. We're on the last leg of this process though. My body is definitely hungry, so I'm sustaining myself on the light, on spirit. Ooh, 4 of Pentacles. 5 of Cups. Please understand that they're going to make sure, and they are making sure that your foundation is not in jeopardy, regardless of whatever changes externally are happening. Because the 5 of Cups, any 5 energy can talk about release, but it's also growth, because 5 can go either way, right? So if it's a growth phase, it's a building up from what's already there. It's a growth phase period. So a stability of the foundation that has been set that keeps you stable will hold true while things are being released, whether that is, actually, it's not even physical release, because this is Cups. So this is actually emotional, and possibly emotional and belief system release is what this is. It may, again, appear that there's a lot of this negative aspect in the physical, but there's actually not. I would, since this is coming through, for the most part, whatever's showing up right now in your life, or for this week ahead, since this is the guidance for the week ahead, is going to be emotion or belief system clearing. And simultaneously, a building for the new. So it's both and. I love that we have a 3 and a 4 here, because we're sitting in a 3 and it's, you know, definitely a becoming energy, and the 4 is being held in spirit. So when that matchup happens, whatever our next stage of development is, that flow from heaven to us also becomes unencumbered. Because we may already be experiencing the flow from soul to our humanity, but we might not be fully experiencing the flow from heaven. We're still getting the bulk of it, but we might not be getting all of it yet. So that's something to keep in mind as well too, depending on what's resonating for you. Outcome as we do this work. Real quick, for folks who are new to me, books are still open for new clients. So if you want to book a one-on-one session, you can do so at my website, innersynchrony.com. If you're on YouTube, that's there on the bottom of the screen. On IG, just click the link in my bio. Books remain open through the end of the month. So the last day the link will be active will be that day, but the session can be whenever you choose from the available schedule. It doesn't have to be November, but just know that that's there. Once books close, though, they will not open again until the spring. That's the plan. If I get told earlier, it'll be a little earlier, but it definitely, if it's earlier, the earliest it would be February. I will not be taking new clients December and January. But, you know, original guidance I got was for spring. But if it is going to be earlier, it would not be earlier than February. So, again, to recap, because I'm getting told that again, this is the focus: maintaining direct contact with the soul in the midst of the shifts and changes that are occurring. Put forth energy and effort to that. 3 of Wands. You will be safe and protected throughout that by your family in heaven. Soul family in heaven will keep you safe and protected because you're actually doing your soul walk, which is the assignment, which I just said, of essentially being that pillar of light. I'm a recurring client, need a one-on-one. What should I book for? Oh, the just the individual coaching session. And then when we're in the session, you just let me know if you want to dive into astrology or like other things. I had to simplify the services because it was just like way too much. So it's just new clients, entrepreneur clients who are new would do the visioning consultation. But returning entrepreneur clients and returning regular clients would do the individual coaching session. So that's what you would book. Thank you for asking that. Yeah. So new individual clients, you would be doing the full spectrum service. New entrepreneur clients, you'd be doing the visioning consultation. Once you've done either of those, then regardless of whether it's personal or professional, you can do the individual coaching session, and then we can use whatever divination tool or just open coaching that you might want for that. The energy clearing is for anybody, whether you are new or returning. But with that, you have to fill out a form because I don't say yes to everyone depending on what is coming up. Either they need to do deeper work before we do a session, or there's some things that need to be accomplished before we can actually schedule something, especially if it's cord cutting kind of work. But I do specialty type work. So, come to me and you'll see because of these prices as well. But ideally, you'd be coming to me if you want energy healing, because either what you're dealing with is not able to be handled with what you already know or the folks that you already have been working with or have access to, whether it's just a matter of skill or experience or whatever. Come to me for those situations or for the things that are like really esoteric. So like if you that's when you should be coming to me, right? Because more often than not, when I'm doing sessions, like there's a lot of entity clearing, there might be past life stuff, repairs for the aura field. Like it is more intermediate to advanced kind of things. I never really know until I get into the process what's going to come up, but like I do more heavy lifting kind of stuff. So yeah, come when it's like, I need more. Like when you need more, come to me. Because trust, a lot will happen in that session. There's a lot that's going to be addressed and cleared, which is also why the sessions are so long. They're 90 minutes. So yeah, when folks come to me, it's just like we're offloading a lot so that you can, continue on. So I'm not really the one that you would be coming to like do, regular energy work with, do Reiki on yourself or work with crystals or whatever, like for your maintenance. Come to me for more of the specialized things. Okay. Or you can come to me for regular stuff too, if you want. But, people tend to come to me for more of the stuff. It's just like, I don't know anyone else who's like talking about this, but I feel like this and this and this is happening. Right. And you're like, am I crazy or is this real? Come to me for that. Trust me, you're not going to bring to me anything. For the most part, 90% of the time, you're not going to bring anything to me that I haven't either directly experienced or I had to facilitate in an energy clearing session. So I've seen and experienced some wild shit, y'all. Like I'm sure one day, like I'll get something that truly surprises me, but it's spirit really be having me working out here. So yeah, very heavy lifting. Yes, I should. And it's fine. Like I actually can do it. Like it's really not a big deal for me. But yeah, I've had to shift the pricing and the marketing of that because it's just like I've had to get honest about what I tend to do, and what I'm really supposed to be primarily focusing on. And it's like it needs to be more of that. Do I need an energy clearing? Would it be in service to this? A broad answer to that is yes, because in general, and I'm saying we, I mean we as the masses, we actually do not, and I was talking about this earlier with folks on YouTube, in general, we do not actually engage with or work with the health of our energy body because it's not something that's discussed. For the most part, the most that gets discussed is maybe healing chakras, maybe, but as you've heard me say, we are more than just a handful of chakras, y'all. But regular clearing and energizing and revitalization of our energy field is actually part of our wellness. So yes, you always need an energy clearing, just like you always need to like take a shower every day, right? Like it needs to be actually that mundane as opposed to like a special thing that you do, right? So in general, yes. Now, if you are someone who is already, for example, if you're in the incubator and you're already working with that, with the tools that, you know, we've been sharing and all of that, and you're like, okay, I recognize that this is now maintaining me, but there's more that's available, then yes, right? It's just like, okay, I feel like I'm kind of capping out a bit, or like there's something that I can't quite unlock or shift or clear, then yeah, you can come through for that, right? Like you, because when you're facilitating yourself, like you're container and contained, and sometimes it is helpful to have someone hold containers so that you can actually fully release. And also they're going to be able to see things and perceive things that, you know, you don't, because you only see what you can see and what you know, right? So yeah, it's really just going to depend on that. I would definitely say, since you're in the incubator, you're getting a discount. So definitely try to get a session in before we bounce. Because it's good, right? It's good to do so. And you already know how powerful the direct energy sessions are when we do those lives. So imagine a one-on-one session. So there's that. Did I answer the question? I saw heart, so I'm assuming that was you. But yeah, the need is really going to come down to acceptance, because the way I do energy work, it's all, and any work that I do, actually, it's all based on consent. So it's not a, if it's not a true call, if it's not really in alignment, energy work won't even be able to be happening, because it's a no at a soul level. And I do not cross that boundary. If soul says no, it's just no. Sometimes we may think we want to address something, but at a deeper level, we actually don't feel safe enough yet to address it. And if that's the case, we don't go there, right? So no, if it's a clear yes inside, then yeah, we can do a session. But if it's a thing of like, oh, I should do this because you think you need to get fixed, that's where we kind of like want to question and look at that. Because again, regardless of service is this, keeping direct contact with the soul. And anything that we know that we are not able to let go of on our own and we want help with, then yes, it's appropriate in those contexts. Let's see what the outcome is when we do this. Single card, please. Ah, new karmic path. And this is also a card of success, Knight of Pentacles. And we got the Knight of Wands on the bottom. It's rapid. Shifts and changes as well. But this is abundance. Abundant success, moving with cycles, integration, embodiment, right? Wholeness. Like, see all these spheres here? There are no hard, broken lines here. All of you gets to come along. That's important because, you know, yes, we're talking about spirit and the focus is spirit with the wands, but this is successful physical life, successful humanity here. It's not just idea thing like this. Again, spirit is the foundation of life. This has and will be having and continue to have a direct impact on our life. And this is the new path that we chose to have on our soul assignment. It's also the emergence, for those of you who are really into Hindu philosophy about the yugas, the larger cycles that we're part of. You see this night is also emerging out of this cluster of darkness. Okay, still circles back there, but it's definitely darker compared to the energy that it's moving towards. So this is also a physical representation of the coming out, and we've actually already come out of the Kali Yuga cycle, and we're currently in Dwapara, the ascending part of the cycle. Okay, so yes, we are on time with that. And elevating, this is literally one of the cards of ascension, as is this as well. Ascension meaning coming home to self. Gotta charge this phone to step away for a moment. Looking forward to catching the first half of the live. No worries. Yeah, we're almost done. I'm just getting this last card because apparently we are now almost at 3 hours. Now I know why I didn't eat much today, because like I really just need to be on the energy of spirit. If I had eaten, I would have pooped out a long time ago. The reason being their energy is needed to digest food, right? So I kept it light, kept it liquid. I've never stayed on this long. It's lovely. Yay. It's been a minute since I've actually gone 3 hours. I've gone 2 for a while, but I think it's been like probably since the beginning of this year, or, you know, this time last year, since I've been on for like 3 hours. So this is very much an important message. But I mean, Scorpio's like, we got to be real honest, real authentic about why we're here, because it's no more playing with our soul and with our soul assignment. It's like, we're just going to go directly to source and just make life easy. We get a chance to prove that soul is the perfect organizing principle of our life. Right? That's been coming up, yeah? Soul is the organizing principle of our life. So test that. What happens when I actually like center that and don't fight it? In the center is the mystery card. So I'm going to clarify that with the bottom of the deck, which is the 4 of Cups, which is literally the soul. The why of the message is the soul. That's like that. Fight for that. 5 of Wands. Create that new contract. 7 of Pentacles. so you can experience heaven on earth, the star, and be the physical embodiment of the divine in human form, the emperor. That is what changes karma, not only for you, but for collective humanity, and which ushers in a place of peace and communion with everyone, 10 of Cups, and ends the cycle of pain. And moving forward, there's a perfect reflection of the non-physical into the physical, which brings and affirms sovereignty at all levels of being. Both on earth and in heaven. Because please also understand and know too that your soul is not just your human incarnation. Probably a good number of y'all are fellow angels. Angel self is existing as human self is existing in the here and now. It's not you were an angel, you are an angel. Some of y'all might be dragon or serpent family. That is a here now thing. Some of you might be other family, whatever it is, it's a here now thing. But you don't even have to worry about aligning everyone else. Yeah, you just have to do you. And whatever's showing up, that will align the family. That will align the family and shift the family legacy. Always soul first, y'all. Always soul first. Everything else is just a difference in apparent scale. Well, this has been amazing. You know what to do. Share this with everyone, because the soul assignment is for everyone. All right. So send them the YouTube link. Send this as direct message on IG, or if you're able to share it in your stories, share it in your stories. I won't be able to share it in the stories because it's over an hour and IG does not like sharing that in the stories. But yeah, share this with folks. Come through to the Lightworker Incubator. For sure. Because, yeah, heaven on earth for real. At the intersection of your life, not as some academic concept. And none of this is a taking on of more stuff. It's actually a closer and closer connection to the altar that you're already touching. Not the external. Yeah. Any info that you need, website for sessions for the Lightworker Incubator group coaching program. Sign up for the newsletter because you know social media is social media. So make sure you're connected to me there. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you. Oh, you came back to me like we're just finishing. Okay, you definitely got to watch this because we just had a message from our heavenly family to ourselves and it was amazing. So watch the this last hour, basically. Perfect way to end. Thank you. You are welcome. Thank you so much for this. It's been so fulfilling. Sending love. I receive and accept that love. You are so welcome. And please, y'all, receive and accept this in your heart as well. Let me see. Yes, praise God for sure. Thank you, Goddess. Also, I am. I am a daughter. Come through. Listen, Tamil, you don't even know with that rainbow right now. Also one of the many things for me. So I appreciate that. your soul knows, your higher self actually knows. I just got, so you don't know consciously, but higher self knows. So I'm taking that message. Thank you. Your higher self knows one of the aspects of me, or who I'm a child of. So yeah. Thank you for the blessings, and thank you for blessing all. Thank you for mentioning that, Soy Dreamer, because y'all have the power to bless. I hope with this experience, you also, again, reaffirm that there's no pedestalization. I know that's not a word, but there's no pedestalization or exceptionalism here. Like, full stop. And that in no way, shape, or forms diminishes anyone, including myself, because I know I'm that boss bitch. I am. I'm very clear. But it's always and. Like, it's always and. You are welcome, Camila. You're welcome. You're welcome. You know? Oh, are you thinking dragon though? Because dragon energy already came up, but this is something different. I don't think I've actually. Publicly talked about this other energy. Anyway. But love to everybody. Love to the folks on YouTube. Thank you for showing up. Definitely check out the other Oracle talks. I just started coming back here on YouTube, so there's only a few recent ones for 2021. So definitely check those out. Definitely last week as well, if you did not see last week's, because that was the Sun Scorpio message, and this was the Moon Scorpio message. So the Moon, the Sun seems to be, you know, broader, general approach, and this was like directly to the heart of things, right? But yeah, please share, please come through, ask questions that you need, shoot me a DM if you're on IG if you have further questions. And yeah, I will see y'all next week. I'll probably be on IG Live Monday. Not Monday, but Tuesday, but one of those 2 days, so check that out. Yes, it has. Thank you so much. You are welcome, Shay. Great to have you. Great to know that you're local too. That's awesome. Yay, local fam. All right, folks. Peace out. Love you much. Stay blessed. Stay lifted, and stay connected. Yeah. Bye.